I don't know. Welcome. Hey, what is going on with you wonderful people? I know what you're thinking. What day is it? It is Sunday.
That it
It
is,
is
my
not
friend.
Wednesday. It is not Saturday, but it is Sunday, which means it is Family Tree Productions, the Endgame Sports Podcast.
All right.
And I'm your host. You know me, Mr. Who Loves Your Baby, Uncle Pudge, Telly Talavis, whatever else you want to call me. And to
Uh,
my right, oh my goodness, you ain't never seen this face before. This is our new MLB correspondent and also my brother, Mr. Elmo the Hot Corner Jackson. How you doing, sir?
oh man, I'm hanging in there. You already know how it is. I'm off of work tomorrow. I got a 3-day weekend, so I'm happy.
Yeah, I feel you. Everybody, is happy. Uh, how's your mental state going, man?
Oh, absolutely. It's good, man. When you got 5 children in a house, but one is 18, take care of themselves. One about to be 15, take care of themselves. But you got 3 little ones running around here, running around. It takes a toll on you, but you know what? I take comfort in knowing that their bedtime is at 8:30. Okay,
So what
so
number is that? From 1 to 10, what number is that?
what number is what?
Your mental health. How you
A
feeling?
mental
One to
health.
10.
Mental health. 1 to 10. I'm at a solid 7 right now. Solid 7.
Oh, woo, 7. That's barely above normal. I'm at a 10. I'm at a 10 because man, it's our first time sharing the screen together. I'm
Oh yeah.
excited.
All right.
So
Yeah.
we about to hop right into it. I don't have an intro. I'm missing the CEO Brandon on NBA. I'm missing, Chef Jimbo on the boxing. I'm missing Friday Night Light Jody, my co-host on Unhinged. He on the college, but we gonna make it happen with the NFL and MLB. And I'm gonna get some college in. I'm a jack of all trades. So here we go, man. This week, man, Elmo, you know what it is on Thursday.
It is. It's raw and
Kansas
right where
City
it's at.
Chiefs.
Oh yeah.
The Chiefs start their Super Bowl title defense. Detroit Lions. NFL football is back, baby.
Oh yes, it
What
is.
is what is going on?
You know what? I think the Lions. If you look at the NFC North, where they sit in the division with the Packers, the Packers, the Bears, and the Vikings. I really think if you look at their team, especially what they did in the draft and what they acquired during the offseason, they're actually in a good position to win, if not the division, but definitely number 2. And I tell you why. Not only did they increase the depth in their backfield, but they also added some good defensive linemen and linebackers to their core. Right, secondary still needs a little bit of work, not a lot, but it needs a little bit of work. But overall, especially on the offensive side with Amon St. Brown and then picking up David Montgomery and having what's that fella name? Jameer Bird, I believe his name is. Hey, I'm gonna tell you something. Look for the Lions. Look for the Lions to actually be some contenders and not pretenders in the NFC North this year. But my prediction for them against the defending champs, Kansas City Chiefs, Chiefs winning 34-17. That's what I give it.
Okay. Now listen to that. Now that's an in-depth analysis. That what comes with that's that family in us. We love the football. I totally agree with you. I've been telling people all year, even after last year, I'm like, y'all need to watch the Lions
Absolutely.
because their coach Dan Campbell got them boys. They bought into what he talking about,
Oh yeah.
and they was on the roll last year. They, if you look at all the games that they lost games by 7 or less
Last
points.
point. And
Games that they was actually leading. Their
yeah,
problem is they're a young team. They didn't know how to close out. They
yeah.
were actually in every game competitively. So this year, I look for them, like you said. I don't know if they're going to take the division, but definitely second. They're going to bypass the Packers and the Vikings. I think it's going to come down to them and the Bears because people's like, oh, the Bears sucked last year. I'm like, once again, if you looked at the Bears game,
Exactly.
they too lost a lot of games, 7 of them
Yeah,
by
7.
one score or less.
Yep.
7 games. They was 1-7 in games decided by one score or less, by 7 points or less. Now, we've watched some of them games where, they fumble at a critical moment or something like that. If they cleaned up those mistakes, the Bears could have been sitting at 11-6, really. And it's like, they was on the verge. So with the additions that they made, hey, I look for them to take the division.
And when you look at the Bears, and that's interesting that you said that. When you look at the Bears, right? So let's look at who they added. They added T.J. Edwards, right? They added Tremaine, Tremaine, what's his name? Tremaine Edwards out of Edmond out of Buffalo. They picked him up signed him. Justin Fields. Justin Fields has constantly, especially if you've been watching any of the preseason games and any of the Bears workout, he's actually looking a little bit more fluid. Last year is when he actually started. That first year when he first came in the league, you can actually see the how intense he was. Like he wasn't really sure about himself. Second year he was sure. He did his check downs. He made his reads, and then he started to decide, if it's not there, I'm gonna take off running. Right, and that's good, but that's not really good for a quarterback because you'll end up in a Michael Vick situation like that and get hit at the wrong time and broke his leg. And ever since Michael Vick got his leg broke, he ain't really kind of been the same like that, right?
Well, so Vick was also light. He was also smaller than Justin.
Absolutely.
A little bit lighter. He didn't have that weight to sustain that pounding of a running quarterback.
Absolutely.
But
getting back to looking at things, picking up DJ Moore, also traded for Chase Claypool last year, and still having Darnell Mooney, and then extended Cole Kmet for another 4 years. You have 4, count them, 1, 2, 3, 4 legitimate targets that you can actually go to. So we know that DJ is going to play the 1, DJ's going to play the 1, Clay's going to play the 2, Mooney's the slot, and Cole is at the 4. But you have
actually they got Mooney playing the 2, and they got Clay playing the slot.
Wow. Very interesting. I wouldn't think that because Mooney's nothing but 5'11", right? But he does.
But when you look at Clay 6'4" and run a 4-3, that's a matchup nightmare right there. So
and it is for that nickel slot. It is for that nickel back. It is. But the problem is, I'm gonna go with Clay. I'm gonna go with Clay all the time. One, because he has a height, right? You can do a jump ball, and he's most likely going to jump over the defender. The average cornerback in the NFL is 5'11". That's the average cornerback.
Yeah, they're getting higher. They're getting taller.
They're getting taller now, right? But the average NFL quarterback is 5'11". You look at that and you say to yourself, "Hey, I got a whole 4 inches on somebody. All you got to do is throw it. Chances are, I'm gonna jump over." The only cornerback I've seen that was short and really had leaps and hops, they can actually pick it. And I've seen this for myself, and you've seen it too, was Peanut Tillman, Chicago Bears number 33. He's the only one that you can actually legitimately say he was a short corner, but he had hops where he can actually compete with the rest of them.
What you mean short? Peanut was 6'1".
No. Well, no, Peanut. No, yeah. Peanut is. Look it up right
6'1".
now. Is he 6'1"?
Yeah, look it up. Peanut was 6'1". That's how he was able to hop with Randy Moss. What's up, Jody?
And he took the ball from Randy Moss.
What's up, man?
Jody, man, got here late, but you're here. Glad you're here. You must be watching it. The Florida State LSU.
I'm trying to keep my cool this weekend.
What happened, man?
Because I don't know what universe we're in, but who the fuck said we had to root for Dion? Like, I'm so over that shit. Like,
I'll keep trying. Hey, we'll get to that in a second.
We'll get to that.
I'm glad you're here. We'll get to that in a minute.
And
Did you look up what Peanut height was?
Yes, Charles Tillman height.
And I'm watching LSU and Florida State, and I just watched LSU butt fuck a 1st and goal from the 2-yard line.
I'm sorry, Charles Tillman is 6'2". 6'2".
Told he was tall. Peanut was tall. He was one of the rare big corners back then.
His vertical is ridiculous though, because like
Yeah.
he will hop with the best of them, especially with Randy Moss. A couple
And
times.
also, when we speaking of the Chiefs, just read an article today. Chris Jones and the Chiefs are far apart, still on a contract, and Chris Jones is not showing up till he get his money. And Travis Kelce made a plea to Chris Jones to show up, said, we need you. And I think Travis Kelce should mind his own damn business, first of all.
I think Travis Kelce.
That's his teammate.
No,
because you can't tell a man about his money. You know,
if he
like,
feels like that,
his money. You just saying like, hey, bro, we need you. That's a telling
no,
you.
he's saying he told him to show up because we need you.
Okay,
but my man saying, my man saying, I need my cheese.
That's a brotherhood. Brothers gonna talk to brothers. All right.
I mean, yeah, brother. I mean, let me tell you something.
Talk to brothers, but at the end of the day,
I didn't get paid millions of dollars either. So
this is a business at the end of the day.
Come on,
because you got to look at it. If Chris Jones get hurt,
exactly,
they're not gonna pay him. They're not gonna say, "Well, you know what, you did us nice in the past. We gonna take care of you." They're gonna get rid of him or try to lowball him. So the man got to get his money.
They're gonna use it as
whatever he feel like he's worth. And I can understand that. At the end of the day, I can see the team side of it too. You under contract, you signed it. It was good at that point.
Yeah.
Play it out, whatever. We can settle up at the end or whatnot. It's always a business, though. It is always a business.
So when you look at it from this perspective, you look at it like this. We're talking about billionaires and millionaires, right? This is really what we're talking about here. Right?
Yeah, that's true.
Right. That's what we're really talking about. You're talking about these billionaires.
We can't understand them.
Right, exactly. With a business who want to try to keep as much money as they can, right? Because if they could, they would pay you. They would pay everybody the bare minimum. If they could, right? If they could, they would pay everyone the bare minimum. But when you
I'm laughing at Jody. That game must be good.
You don't understand the level of hate I have for Florida State, bro. But I'll wait till we get to college football.
Brother, let me tell you something. I'm a University of Miami fan. Yeah, I know the level of hate for Florida State.
I'm big blue through and through, baby. Ann Arbor to the day I die. So you know how it is. Michigan Wolverines, go blue.
So the shit that get me, right? The shit that get me is people be like, so you don't root for no other team in Florida? And I'm like, do you ask people who are Alabama and Auburn fans, do you root for any other team in Alabama? Do you ask people in Michigan, do you root for any other team in Michigan? Do you ask people in Texas, do you root for any team in Texas? Because real people, when you are a fan of a team, every other team is fuck you to the highest levels. You are as a big fan, his perfect season for Michigan State would be 0-12. Am I correct, Elmo?
You are correct. Absolutely.
Okay.
And since that, we're going to segue because NFL, it will start Thursday, Sunday.
What's the Thursday? What's Thursday's game?
Chiefs and Lions.
Chiefs and Lions. Chiefs and Lions.
Patrick, my homeboy.
Hey, he gonna be in for a game, man. The Lions ain't no joke.
I ain't saying Lions. Ain't no matter.
I mean, I know.
He gonna tell their secondary up. He gonna tell their secondary.
I don't know, man. They secondary looking kind of good too. They front seven. That front seven, man.
Chiefs is gonna have a hard time rushing the ball. Passing, they're gonna be able to pass, but they're gonna have a hard
time. I don't know, man. Pachinko and Edwards-Helaire, they was doing their thing last year. So
Edwards-Helaire is third on the roster now. He's not.
Is he third?
He's third on the roster now. So Pacheco.
I know Pachinko is up.
Right, Pacheco is questionable right now, and then you still got Jared McKinnon. And you got Jared McKinnon, who's most likely to step into that role if Isaiah Pacheco can't show up and get it done. Right, if he's not good to go. Jared McKinnon, then that would move CEH up to number 2 on the depth chart at that point.
Well, they ain't the only interesting. Of course, all eyes are on New York.
Absolutely.
Everybody, not the Giants, but the Jets.
Jets.
With Aaron Rodgers at the QB, and also now with Dalvin Cook in the backfield, taking Breece Hall's place because Breece is hurt or questionable. So Breece might not be able to go. Michael Carter definitely can't go, I believe. So that leaves
No,
Dalvin Cook along with Aaron Rodgers.
no.
Uh,
Jets drafted the back in the 5th round this year, so they do have a
yeah, I don't know
rookie.
how much time he gonna get.
Right, he did have a
Um,
rookie, but it's looking like he's probably going to be number 2 on the depth chart behind Dalvin.
and
So
then
he
you
has to.
got Rookie of the Year last year,
Yeah,
Offensive Rookie of the Year, and
yeah.
Garrett Wilson.
Garrett Wilson,
Got the
absolutely.
Defensive Rookie of the Year,
Yeah,
Sauce Gardner.
yeah. Sauce
So the
Gardner.
Jets, everybody's like, once they signed Aaron Rodgers, they catapulted the Jets to the number 6 spot, and they got predicting the Jets to go to the playoffs. Some people say the Super Bowl. I
Mm.
say you're delusional because the AFC is loaded with a bunch of young guns and they are ready to fire. So
Well, if you look
I
at the
don't even know if the Jets gonna make it out the division
now,
because
if you look at the Jets last year, they had a winning season last year. They almost went to the playoffs, and the reason why they didn't go to the playoffs is because I want to say one team won what they lost to, and it broke the tiebreaker. That's the reason why they
yeah,
didn't make the
I
playoffs.
forget who it was
I forget who it was,
myself.
but right, but they had a winning season last year without Aaron Rodgers, which means they're capable. They're capable of competing without him, right?
Well,
I think,
that's only because the Patriots had a down year.
yeah.
The Patriots was doing something that was pretty much head scratching, having the
Gosh,
defensive guy being the offensive coordinator.
yeah, it
And I'm
was
like,
crazy.
that regressed Mac Jones, but now they got it back to normal. So I look for the Patriots and don't forget the Dolphins. The
Dolphins.
Dolphins, they got it going on over there too. So, and then Buffalo. Don't forget Buffalo. Buffalo that's been a division the past 2 years, 3 years.
But
So
Buffalo's going to have
yeah,
a challenge
Buffalo.
because they're going to have a challenge because they lost some key people on defense that kept them in the top. Buffalo has had a top 5 defense for the past 6 years. And a lot of people don't see what's the name. So their defense is actually taking a little bit of a hit because they lost Tremaine Edmonds to Chicago. They lost one of their corners. They lost one of their corners
It wasn't
to
White.
yeah. They
It
lost
wasn't Tre'Davious White.
no,
As
no,
long as
no, it
they
was not
keep him.
Tre'Davious White. It wasn't Tre'Davious White. Excuse me. They lost one of their corners, and that was like one of the core parts of the Bills that made the Bills for the past 6 years on defense. So I don't know. We gonna have to see exactly how it is. The offense is gonna be the same. They never had any power backs. They always had okay backs, kind of like what New England had when they had Tom Brady. Never a superstar back,
Yeah.
but a back that can get it done, right? And you have
Well,
Dalvin
they got
Cook coming,
Damian Harris now. They got
and it's
Damian
right.
Harris.
They got Damian
And
Harris,
they
and they
got
got
and they got Dalvin Cook, little brother Cook.
James Cook,
James
right? They
Cook.
got him
James Cook was cooking last year. So
exactly right,
yeah, he was
exactly
okay.
like Jody
Yeah,
said.
but
He's like I
second
said, no
year,
superstar, but they got the Superbot. They got the receivers. They got the
of
receivers.
course. But then again, I heard something out the Bills camp. Stephon Diggs ain't happy.
Well, that's been
So
going on. That's been going on. That's
they've
been going
been
on.
looking at maybe trade him. So
They
I
won't
don't
trade him.
know.
They won't trade him. They won't trade him.
I don't know.
I think they'll get
I,
something
I'm,
done towards the
I'm
middle of
getting.
the year. But now,
Hold on. I'm getting to a place where I'm starting to think Stephon Diggs is starting to be he's giving me Randy Moss, Terrell Owens vibes. Like, nigga, you
no,
can
no,
you can go because like what the
no.
fuck you want? You want a
Prima
quarterback?
donna.
He's giving me prima donna vibes. He's never happy. He's like, nigga, damn, you want a better quarterback than Josh Allen? There's only like 3 of them, motherfucker.
But I don't even
Ain't
think
nobody,
That's
ain't
true.
nobody gonna pay you.
I don't even think it's that. I think it's money. I think money's really the issue. I know I've heard that conversation. It's money, right? And when you look at Stephon Diggs in the wake of receivers like who we compare to like a AJ Brown, right, a DJ Moore, obviously a Justin Jefferson, or Jamar Chase, he's right there. Definitely, I would definitely say top 10 in receivers in the NFL, hands down. You can't argue
He
that right
might even
there.
be top 5. I
Right,
wouldn't even. He
right.
might even be top 5 because
You can't really argue that right there because he does have the production. He has the quarterback. He's getting the looks. He's getting the passes, and he can catch the ball.
if you look at it, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, Devontae Adams. Okay, them the top three.
Those are the top three right there.
After that, 4 and 5 is
AJ Brown.
pretty much. You can say AJ Brown, or you can say Tyreek Hill.
Tyreek Hill, yeah.
Or you can say Jalen Waddle, or you can say Devontae Smith, or
Jalen Waddle. Jalen Waddle hasn't proven himself to be a top 10.
Yes, he did. Jalen Waddle's had 1,000 yards last year.
Jalen Waddle is top 15, maybe.
Right, but he's not proving himself to be a top 10, not right now. And besides, this would only be Jalen Waddle's second year? This would be a second year in college? No.
Well, he had 1,000 yards as a rookie, but think about playing on the other side of Tyreek Hill.
He's also hurt for 5 games now also. So.
Well, but think about it. On the other side of Tyreek Hill, he's going to get plenty of opportunities to shine. What's up, CEO? Other than that, also, we got Ezekiel Elliott. He down in New England. Yeah. So him with Stevenson, they should make a formidable backfield duo to help Mac Jones out. As we all know, Jonathan Taylor, he won't be available for the first 4 games for the Colts.
Yeah.
Is that going to stunt the growth of Anthony Richardson, a young signal caller? That's starting. I think it is, because when you have a young quarterback, you need a back and you need a tight end. Those are the security blankets of a young quarterback.
Well, it's time for somebody to step in and take the reins now. And if you remember, I want you to flash back here about 4 years ago, actually. If you remember, this is the same stunt that got Melvin Gordon ousted up out of San Diego. He did the same thing when Austin Eckler came in. He did the same exact thing. Man, I want this, I want that, and this. Austin Eckler came in, took his job, and they shipped him right off the deal. Same thing.
But it wasn't just Austin Eckler. It was Eckler and it was Jackson also.
And Justin Jackson, absolutely.
Yeah, both of them were shining in Melvin Gordon's spot, which prompted Melvin Gordon to come back from his holdout because he saw them boys getting off. But about that time, it was too late.
Too late. They had already invested.
Yeah, they went with the younger option. Now, are we saying that could happen in Indianapolis? It could. I don't know. They did draft a young running back. He had a fantastic preseason. Get some cracks at it, but we just have to see. Other than that, you already know that the rest of the NFL, went through some things, and a lot of teams got facelifts, retool. So he watching LSU, Florida State, CEO.
Boy, hey, so right, Florida State. Keep giving them 15 yards away.
We will see. I can't wait. NFL season, people.
Oh yeah,
starting Thursday. Man, and also the fantasy season starts too. Starts Thursday. So now we turning it over to Jody and college football.
Let's
what a weekend of college football.
Let's get to the conversation we all want to talk about.
Let's talk about
it. Again, who the fuck said we had to support Deion? Why? Why are we supposed to be Deion fans?
Well, first of all,
because you know how that goes.
Yeah.
Because he's the cool kid. Everybody wants to follow the cool kid. Man, I'm like you. Fuck that dude. That dude a sellout.
He
left that program high and dry.
Let's get it clear. Let's get it clear. Your reason for not liking Deion is not my reason for not liking Deion. You don't.
Oh no, it ain't.
State, right? You don't like. I was happy that a nigga left Jackson State. I said fuck Jackson State, throw them niggas the deuces and call it a day. I was like, Deion, fuck Jackson State because they ain't want to pay that man.
That man didn't need the money.
That's all right. You still need to pay that man.
But it's not about needing the money.
That man paycheck. So he left Jackson State.
Hold on. But only Elmo would know what I'm talking about when I say this because you're not from Chicago. Okay. But when the coach that dude came from the suburbs, the white dude, went to Phillips.
Yeah.
He did not take a paycheck. They paid him and he took the money and put it back into the program. He didn't even have a paycheck. And look what Phillips became.
They won 2 state
Because he put the program. He put the program first because it was about building that program. It wasn't about him getting paid. He was straight on money. He was straight on money. Deion came into Jackson State, and Deion the one that said, why can't we have our own? Why can't we coach our own? Why can't we build up our own and make our own national product? He said that.
Because our own don't want to pay.
No, it ain't that our own don't want to pay.
That's a valid point. When you get down to it,
look at what Colorado paid Deion versus look at what Jackson State paid Deion.
They didn't even have the money, but they said it. He didn't have the money.
But they paid.
No,
they paid, but they didn't have the funds.
But they knew when he came in, they would get the money because Colorado's been so
they took a chance that they would get the money.
They didn't have no. They was saying them tickets.
Colorado don't have the money to pay Deion.
The tickets for the first game yesterday was sold out a month prior to them even playing yesterday.
But wait a minute, what did y'all say? What you just said? They didn't have the money, but they said they eventually get it. That's what they said. He came on a promise to get paid. So what's the difference with him and Jackson State then? They didn't pay him in Colorado when he got there. They got it. They said they got to get the money. They don't have it. Okay.
Well,
what if they don't get the money? But they sold out. You're right. They sold out. They sold out the tickets. They did all that. But I'm saying he went on a promise. He went there on a promise to get paid. Jackson State.
Let me tell you something. Hold on. I don't mean to cut you off. You said he went on a promise. He went on a promise, but it was on paper. So in case they never paid him, he got recourse to sue them. Period. So it wasn't like, well, I'm going to just take your word for it, and then I'm going to show up, and if I don't get paid, then we're going to talk. No, it's in my contract. If you don't pay me, now we're going to court at this point. Yeah, I listen to what you say, but I got to still put it on paper for protection. He
had it on paper at Jackson State. He did not have it on paper. I mean, if any true businessman or person of business gonna get everything in writing, it's all right though. Like I said, he left after he made all these promises and stuff. That's why I'm upset. Don't come in here. Look here, man. If that was his deal, and he got blown out. So it does matter. He got blown out.
He leveraged his connections.
That's what
to help the program to help the kids. Now
that's Jody what he's doing in Colorado.
No. But Jody said something earlier that makes sense, and this just goes to a bigger and a deeper issue that a lot of people don't like to talk about. HBCUs, love HBCUs, love all that, yada, great. You know what I mean? But now, when you break down, I even started doing some research on this a little while ago. When those alumni graduate, how many of them give back? How many of them give back?
I don't know.
It's not a lot of them. That's the problem. So
I tell you what. Since you say that, how much money Shannon Sharp done gave back to Savannah State?
You gotta look.
We got the
how much money?
And if he's guilty of it, then he's guilty on it. Let's call him on it. But all I'm saying is this though. But that's the biggest. That's one of the biggest problems. The financial issues that these HBCUs are actually undertaking. Right. A lot of these people, and that's just a piece of it. Right. That the alumni is not donating. They're not raising enough money. They can't seem to raise enough money. Perfect example. I'll give you a perfect example. Harvard is not known for anything but being a big academic institution. But if you notice, for the last 10 years, Harvard had lowered their tuition for the past 10 years. How was they able to lower their tuition for the past 10 years?
But Harvard got presidents.
The point I'm saying is people give back that alumni at Harvard. They give back. Two, they got great fundraising. They out there giving. They actually not only are people giving back, but they got people out there that's actually going out there. They have actually shared department. Look on their website, actually show the department that their sole purpose is to garner and get money. And garner and go get money. That's it. So we got fundamental differences between these PWIs that what we're talking about in HBCUs. It's underfunded for HBCUs and not so much for PWIs. There's over 80 HBCUs that's been closed in the past 4 years alone. Over 80, and we don't have that many.
But why though? Who does that fall on? That falls on the president. That falls on the president, though.
We getting off topic. Right? So, yeah, HBCUs.
We talking college,
right? HBCUs and funding is one thing, right? That's a whole conversation for us, right?
We'll say that for later.
Let me get to my issue with Deion, right? I wasn't mad that Deion left Jackson State. I celebrated it. I was like, y'all mad at that man for chasing money. Jackson State was going to pay this man $4 million over 5 seasons. Colorado going to pay that man $29 million over 4 seasons.
Thought it was 26.5, but whatever, 29, 26.
Right? So,
we ain't going to squabble.
Whatever. So way more money than what the fuck they was going to pay that man. My issue with Deion is this. First of all, when the fuck did Deion become the spokesman for like black? Like Deion's not the only black man that coaches in college football. Okay, like
Eddie George.
Get my respect. What about Marcus Freeman, the first black coach at like Notre Dame? Like he wasn't that fucking celebrated when he got that job. But
You mean Ty Willingham? Ty Willingham was the first black coach.
Oh well, Marcus Freeman's like the second coach.
Yeah, he the second.
So he wasn't that celebrated. I digress. Who the fuck did Deion beat? A depleted, no defense, very much overrated TCU team. Now we talk about how much Deion won, right? We talk about how much Deion won. It's like we're not gonna address that, nigga. You gave up 42. TCU could have put up 60 if they didn't have 2 fucking turnovers. They definitely had a turnover in the end zone. In
the red zone, that pick that Travis Hunter got. Yeah, if they score on that one, that game, TCU probably win if they score on that one.
All I'm saying is this. Honestly, the guy, I don't care for the hype. I don't care for the hype. Deion literally went off season and was like, look at me, look at me, look at me, look at me, look at me. That's all he did all season. And then he wins this game, and it's like all of a sudden he's the next coming like Messiah or something. And it's just like, yo, he beat TCU.
Bingo, like this dude on Bill Walsh.
Y'all crazy. Let me tell you what,
bro.
Y'all crazy.
Did you see his schedule? Did you see his schedule?
Y'all taking away the fact that he upset the number 17 team in the nation.
Man, anybody can do that.
No,
Elmo, how many times
Colorado was 1-11 last year. They haven't been in a bowl game in 8 years.
First of all, them players ain't there no more. Those players aren't there anymore.
There anymore, bro.
And he still won with the players he brought in. So now what?
What? And wait, say it again. He won with the players he brought in. He couldn't do it without them. A real coach go to the program. Okay, I see what I got. Okay, I'm gonna work with it.
I'm not mad at for what Deion did to the program, because if he had to fucking clean it out, bro.
Exactly.
I ain't mad at you.
Clean it out. He not only cleaned it out, he just revamped the whole thing.
Telly, we can't do that because as Miami fans, Mario Cristobal damn sure cleaned Miami out. They lost 47% of their roster.
47, yeah.
That's because look,
Mario Cristobal,
the dude who recruited before him, he didn't know what he was doing.
Man, he did.
He didn't know how to recruit.
Mario Cristobal went through that roster, and halfway during the season, what did he say? If you don't like it, you can come get your kids and hit the transfer portal. And that was in week 6. All right.
Hey man, but you got to do that.
Deion clean house.
When he do it, he did it in the middle of the season. He came, he saw what he had, and he said, you know what? I can't work with them. At least he came and saw, like, I can't work with them. Come and get him out of here. I can't work with him. That's all I'm saying, but it's neither here nor there. He won.
All I'm saying is
he won, and everybody losing their shit.
Everybody losing their shit because his son threw for 500 yards. Like, bro, I was like, you had to watch that game and watch how poorly TCU's defense played.
I mean, really, what they get one? Wait a minute. What they get 2 sacks on the dude?
It was so bad. TCU's defense literally looked out of position every play. Honestly, if I was the coach at TCU, my defensive coordinator would be gone. There is no
Man,
reason why the running back is just sitting in the flat wide open. Literally, what his son would scramble, and all of a sudden he's got a fucker in the back of the end zone wide open.
I mean,
Dude's missing tackle by a whole fucking yard. Dude,
it was horrible. It was
atrocious yesterday. And it's like,
it
if
was
you
like,
had
man,
50 points on that defense, then you would have sucked. So Deion honestly hasn't done anything that pressed me. You beat now. We see an overrated TCU team.
Wow.
they are overrated.
Okay. All right.
You know, preseason rankings are based on last year.
TCU that went and played Georgia and got mopped 63-7. That same team. That same team that got mopped 63-7.
Right,
So,
because
they lost 17 starters off that team that got mopped in the national championship. What did you expect from TCU? TCU got a favorable ranking because they were in the national championship last season.
Championship. And it was 17. It wasn't like they were. So somebody knew something like they weren't going to be TCU of last year because you see Georgia ranked number 1.
Right. And so
they lost a bunch of people.
Let's see how TCU play the rest of this season. So if TCU is a team that's like 6-6, 5-5, we'll know that all Deion did was beat a trash team. Now, if TCU goes on to do something, then I'll give him credit. But right now, he had 2 easy-ass games in front of him. He's got Nebraska, which apparently looked like they couldn't muster up a fucking crumb of offense against fucking Minnesota. Okay?
No, that's Big Ten action. That's Big Ten action.
Big Ten, yeah.
That's Big Ten action. It's rough.
And then he's got
Colorado. Rough in Big Ten.
He's got Colorado.
Colorado State, yeah, you got Colorado State.
Colorado State ain't been good.
Fucking way.
Okay.
God.
But then he also has number 6 USC, Oregon State, Oregon,
and he got Oregon. Utah, he got Washington, Utah, Washington, UCLA,
Arizona
State. The man got a Big Ten schedule. He play all the teams in the Big Ten.
He don't have no schedule. He has a legitimate schedule, man.
We're not saying he doesn't have a legitimate schedule. We're just saying,
and he ain't gonna win but 3 games.
We'll see.
He ain't gonna win but 3 games.
I wouldn't say
3 games.
All I'm saying is, we're gonna see the real team when Deion
next week
has to play real talent.
We're gonna see the real team next week. Don't sleep on Nebraska.
I'm calling it right now. Colorado for the season 7-5. I'm calling it right now.
What? 7-5. What 7? I posted their schedule. What 7?
Wilson, 7-5. Watch.
What 7?
7-5. I give Colorado 7-5 for the season for this year.
So they got 6 more wins out of them. Out of this schedule they got 6 more wins.
Hold on. I believe when do they play USC? Like week 4?
Yep, week 4.
Something like that. Yeah.
They will be undefeated going into USC. USC and Colorado will meet each other 3-0. That will be the game of the week. That's going to be the talk of the town. They're going to be 3-0.
Well, that's Caleb Williams. First of all, that's going to be Caleb Williams, and I predict USC going to put 50 plus up on them.
And then they got to turn around and play Oregon, right? And
Oregon is towards Oregon. I think Oregon is the last game of the season.
I
think Oregon is the last game of the season.
Oregon State.
Oh well, I mean close to the bottom. Oregon is close to the bottom.
Oregon just hung up 81 on their fucking opponent. Oregon is
that trash ass team, man.
They got Oregon State, not Oregon. Oregon State.
No, they got Oregon too.
Right, Oregon.
They got Oregon too.
Oregon is like week 9 or something like that. Week 9 or week 10.
Yeah, they towards the bottom, but they'll be only 3 wins when they get to Oregon.
All I'm saying is he came in and he had a nail biter, right? And for all purposes, it was a good game. The game.
Oh, it was a great game.
It was a great game. You can't knock it.
Great
right?
Game.
You can't knock it. It was a great game. I'm not gonna sit there and say it was. I'm gonna say this, right? Deion and the offensive coordinator called an amazingly great offensive game. Offensively, that team looked unstoppable.
Oh, them risks that they took on fourth down, flawless.
First of all,
Great play,
with the way that
flawless.
team was playing, Tully, are you serious? Like 2 of the touchdowns came on 4th and 2. Literally just rolled a running back out of the fucking backfield and just tossed it.
That little speed demon took off on them.
My man Dominic
like true freshman.
I don't want anybody to think I'm taking away from the players and or the coaching staff because they did a great offensive game plan. Defensively, they sucked up. There is no way we're going to give up.
And special teams. Special teams suck too.
Bro, what the fuck is it with LSU's offense, bro? It's like LSU's like, we'll do 18 yards, 15 yards, 9 yards, 12 yards, but on 3rd and 1, we can't figure it the fuck out.
Sometimes like LSU, it be, oh well, LSU, being a Bears fan, we know all about that one. Like
LSU should be up 21-7 right now, bro. LSU is bum fucked twice, bro. Like it is no reason for them to be playing like that. And that's the other thing I hate about Florida State. I ain't never seen a team more lucky in this fucking world than Florida State, bro. Florida State has
got the juice, man. They got the juice.
So many wins off of. It's not even like Florida State's playing a good game. LSU is playing like shit. 1st and goal from the 2-yard line, they can't punch it in. 1st and goal. 1st and goal.
You talking about Matt Nagy style football?
1st and goal from like the 12-yard line or like get to the fucking 20-yard line and they fucking like, nah, we don't want to punch it in. And then they muff a fucking punt. They muffed like 4 of them last year in this game. I swear LSU should be beating their ass right now.
Well, they will. Second half is coming.
But if you want other news in college football, Florida lost to Utah.
Yeah.
Florida lost.
Was that an upset? Was that an upset, or was that like
no? Utah's ranked
to be expected.
Utah's already ranked, right?
Hold on. Can we talk about the fact that Wyoming came back and beat Texas Tech?
Yeah, buddy.
Really?
That's an upset. Yep.
I did not know that.
Wyoming came back.
The Cowboys.
Josh
Allen. That's what. Hey, right. I'm gonna say that's what Josh Allen's from. Wyoming. You know, another
Wyoming Broncos, baby.
Well, man, I forgot to talk about the Trey Lance trade to the Cowboys, but we'll talk about that after week 1.
He getting fired.
Who? Dak Prescott?
No, John Lynch getting fired.
Oh yeah, he is. He getting fired.
Bro, you gave him
because he traded too much.
This is the worst. This is the worst trade I've seen since the Ricky Williams and New Orleans Saints draft. That's the worst.
Some people would disagree with you. Some people would say it's the Mitch Trubisky, the Mitch Trubisky trade.
No, at least the Bears when they traded up for that, they traded up right. That's just a risk, dude. You gave away the farm just to buy the cow. That's what they did with that New Orleans.
That's what the Bears did to move up one spot. Nobody was going to draft Mitch Trubisky at number 2.
I don't think that either. But let's get back to Jody and his college football.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Well, any more college news?
Well, and nothing for the first week. Hell, I was very concerned about Texas out here struggling against Rice for a whole fucking half. Let's not talk about that.
Shit, so, Illinois struggled against Toledo.
That don't give me much hope for next week when they play Bama. Jesus Christ,
Bama's gonna kill them.
Who? Texas?
I'm sure gonna kill Texas. Dog walk Texas.
I don't know, man. You know, sometimes you play down to your opponent level, but you get up for big games. No. So they're gonna be up for Alabama.
I damn sure hope so. Where they looked against Rice yesterday.
They didn't fear Rice. They was gonna try to cook Rice, but Rice wasn't going.
They're an academic institution like Cornell. Rice.
Right. It ain't no sports school.
Exactly.
Jody wouldn't know this either, but Chicago State University won their first game yesterday.
Unbelievable.
You know,
and they got a football team. And we've been
it's unbelievable
for so many. Like, when Chicago State gonna get a football team? They would get so many dudes from the hood,
They won
or
their
we
first
saw an
game.
opportunity to play ball. They won.
Yeah, they won their very first ever game yesterday.
First ever game. This is their first ever football, first
Bruh,
season inaugural football
let's
season.
let's talk about Oklahoma, all right? For all intents purposes, Oklahoma beat Arkansas State 73-0 yesterday.
You said
I
Arkansas.
know, right?
It's not like it's the Razorbacks though. So
Right.
No,
But see, and people were celebrating stuff like that, like they celebrating Syracuse beating Colgate
Colgate.
65-0. And I'm like, you beat a dental hygienist school. What the hell, man?
It's an academic institution. They don't put a lot.
I'm like,
you know what?
Colgate?
But Colgate is always in the NCAA tournament for basketball, though.
That's basketball. Football? You know, that's like saying Duke. Duke ain't no football school.
Well, we know that.
Hold on. We can talk about Elmo's favorite school right quick because that game.
Michigan crushed whoever they were playing.
Hey, Ohio State won 23-3. Could he muster up a 30-piece against Indiana?
Indiana.
Big Ten, dog.
Big
Y'all
Ten,
don't get it. Big Ten play is a lot different.
Toughest,
You ain't blowing nobody out.
It's not the SEC. It's the Big Ten. It's always will be the Big Ten.
You not blowing nobody out in the Big Ten matchup.
And I'm gonna stand on this point. SEC is overrated as usual.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
SEC is a top-heavy conference as usual. They have 3-4 teams that are holding them afloat.
But the thing about the SEC is,
I'm rooting for y'all right now.
You know who's going to win the SEC. You can't say that about the Big Ten.
Right. It's two different teams every year.
Georgia, Alabama, every fucking year. Like,
right. It's like, okay. You know, and every once in a while, LSU will sneak up in there too, like
and
stick their nose in there.
Tennessee done snuck up in there this year.
Well, Tennessee so far, so far Tennessee. I remember when Tennessee used to be in the mix all the time.
When they had Peyton Manning,
like they had Peyton Manning, T. Martin. T. Martin was their quarterback at the Peyton. They stayed, but they could not beat Florida. They could not beat Florida. Peyton Manning could not beat Florida. That's old. That's old. That's old.
Very old. Yeah.
1990s. Don't worry.
1996, actually.
Yeah, that's in the 90s. That's the ancient time.
Danny Werfel, Steve Spurrier area.
Yeah, Danny Werfel, Steve Spurrier, Shane Matthews.
Yeah.
Didn't Werfel win the Heisman?
Yes, he did. Number 7.
Yeah, that's what I thought. He goes to show you.
Trash.
Man.
Old Miss.
Great.
Yeah, so this week we didn't really have much to talk about because everybody played they.
What's up, EJ?
Everybody played their practice. And I think next week is the same shit. Everybody playing practice.
Not really. Next week is going to be a little bit tough.
It's going to be some battles next week. It's going to be a few of them.
Yeah, it's going to be some next week.
Texas and Oklahoma.
Who Notre Dame playing? Because they crushed whoever they played this week. Notre Dame, man, beat the living breaks off of them.
NC State.
Ain't a bad game. NC State got a decent program. I ain't saying it's gonna be a shootout, but NC State might make it interesting for a second.
Actually, Miami got a tough game ahead of them next week.
Who they playing?
You gotta play Texas A&M.
Yeah, they went out and bought their whole class. Texas A&M, they went out and got them boys.
See, hey, when people are asking about HBCUs, look at what Texas A&M did. That's how the fuck vendors supposed to do.
Hey, well, with Neil deals in the back pocket,
that's how you supposed to do it.
Buy the best. Now you can buy the best, and you ain't gotta hide it.
People like, we spend money now, but that's all right.
Yeah, Texas, you ain't gotta hide it now. You can just go out and pay them off. Like, here you go. And that's it for college. And now for our newest segment, MLB News with Elmo Jackson, the hot corner.
Hot corner. That's because I played third base all in high school. I played third base, and let's refer to as the odd corner. So, MLB, man, very interesting, very shaken up. We're gonna go right into the action. So if you go to the NL East, we got the Bronx Bombers, New York Yankees, currently beating the Houston Astros 3-1. My favorite team in the NL Central, who's battling for actually division right now. It's a three-way battle between the Brewers, Cubs, and Reds. They beat the Reds 15-7 when they exploded for 10 runs in 2 innings today. Then you hop over to the East, you got them Phillies, the cheesesteak heads, Phillies, who beat the Milwaukee Brewers, which is currently on top of the division in the NL Central, the Brewers, that is, which moves the Cubs up by 1. So now the Cubs are 2 games out of first in the NL Central. Here we going
Go
down south
Milwaukee.
this guy. And then we going down south to where Jody at, Miami, who squeaked out a win over the Washington Wizards. The Washington Nationals.
I'm finna say the Wizards. They play baseball now.
My bad.
They need to stop playing basketball.
Heading out to that rainy season up to the Northwest, Seattle, who took a loss to the New York Mets, 3-6. Interesting news today of New York Mets. Pete, they call him Cuban. Pete Alonso is the only Met, and he broke this today, the only Met to have his third 40 home run season this today with the Mets. He's the only one in Mets history to have 3 40-plus home run seasons. He did that today.
Wait a minute, Mike Piazza ain't never do it?
Mike Piazza never did it. He's the only one.
Darryl Strawberry ain't never do it?
Never did it. Pete Alonso was the only one in New York Mets history. 3 seasons with 40-plus home runs.
Are you fucking serious?
Bobby Bonilla never did it?
Never did it.
Damn, that's crazy.
Heading over to Beantown, we have Boston, who beat them KC, where I currently reside. Them Royals of Kansas City, 7-3. Over in the AL Central, home to the White Sox in Detroit. Detroit squeaked them out 3-2 today. Sox are sitting next to last to the division, to the Royals at this point. Heading back over.
Of course, because we need to fire that bum-ass manager. We already fired the GM and Kenny Williams. The manager needs to go. He squandered all that time.
Totally agree with you, because White Sox for the past 3 years should at least been in the playoffs, if not the AL championships for the last 3 years. They have the young talent, they have the team, and they got the pitching most importantly.
Hey man, before the season started, they was predicted to go to the World Series.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they were so talented.
Bad manager, and they have the young team. On another note, Tim Anderson, who got back from his 5-day suspension last week, just became the 30th person in White Sox history to hit 1,000 hits, and he did it with an RBI double today.
Yes, he did.
Head back over east, we got Pittsburgh and them boys, them EI boys, St. Louis. Pittsburgh drops 4, St. Louis picks up 6. And this is the first year in history that St. Louis has not been in the playoff race. First time in 7 years, but the St. Louis Cardinals have not been in the playoff race for the NL Central title, actually, to tell you the truth. And it's very disturbing. Heading back over to the NL Central, we got Minnesota. Minnesota loses to Texas. The AL Central, sorry. They lose to the AL East boys, the Texas Rangers, 5-6, and then heading on over up old Canada, oh hell to the king now, not the queen, because the queen is there. Toronto beats Colorado 7-5. 7-5. So right now, sitting in our standings, playoffs is actually coming real strong. There's 31 games left here in the season at this moment. And right now, looking at the NL East, the Braves, who currently have the best record in all of baseball, is 90-46. 44 games above 500 right now. Has a clear division lead over the Phillies by 15 games at this point. Going to the NL Central, very, very tight between the Reds, Brewers, and Cubs. Brewers are currently 76-6. Cubs are currently 74-64 at 2.5 games out. And the Reds are sitting at 71-68, which is 5.5 games out at this point. Pirates and Cardinals are out of it. Head to the NL West.
Milwaukee.
Head to the NL West, you got the Dodgers Looking at the Dodgers, who are 84, 50, 52, looking to lock up the NL West. But and they're clearly out in front by 14 and a half games over the Diamondbacks and the Giants out of San Francisco right now. Going shooting on, shooting on over to the American League. The second best team in baseball, the Baltimore Orioles, 85 and 51, which is 34 games above 400, are battling with them guys down south. And Tampa Bay, the Rays, Tampa Bay Devil Rays, right now, they have a 3-game lead on them in the division at this moment. Tampa Bay has a legitimate chance to make the playoffs, but what's going to kill them is Wandel Franco. They all-star perennial shortstop who has got charges filed on him in the Dominican Republic for being in a relationship with a 14-year-old girl. So he's
Whoa.
out. So he's out. So he's out of.
Whoa.
He's out of the commission right now, so he cannot give them that bat or that defense that they need, and they're struggling to hold on. Shooting on over.
Hey, that brother need a defense. He don't need a good defense himself.
So sources close to the team said he's probably played his last season in the MLB because they're investigating right now. If this all comes out.
Oh man, ain't nobody finna pick him up.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's done.
He's done. Man, I don't care. I don't care how talented you are.
Exactly.
Pedophilia, man. Pedophilia ain't happening.
Not working whatsoever. He's going to probably throw his career away. The sad thing about it is the young brother ain't nothing but 22 years old.
And that brother finished at 22.
Shocking, though. Shocking.
I hope he stacked his money.
He's still on his rookie contract. What he supposed to do?
Man can go play in Canada or something. Somebody in other parts of the world will take him.
I'm gonna put it to you like this, right? We know how shit goes. If the shit comes out and it's like, you know what, he's innocent, he didn't do it, they're gonna wait a few years, him being 22, and somebody will take him.
No, if it comes
out,
they'll
take him right away.
They'll take him right away, right? If he's cleared of all the allegations, but it's the 14-year-old that made the complaint, along with the 14-year-old mother down in the DR, which me and my wife is going to this December. We're going this December for our anniversary to the Dominican Republic. They made the complaint, and the MLB has they have to do their due diligence to what's because he's from the Dominican Republic. He was drafted out of the Dominican Republic, so
the prosecutor gonna be locked up in the Dominican Republic.
No, he ain't gonna go back to the Dominican Republic. He's gonna stay here. He's just gonna be unemployed. That's what's gonna happen. So shooting over to the AL Central, the Twins. The Minnesota Twins are number 1 in the division. They got a 4.5 lead on the Guardians. They are currently 71 and 66, 5 games above 500, but the Guardians are close on each other. The Guardians of Cleveland, about 4.5 games, only 4.5 games out. Then lastly, the AL West over there where it rains in Seattle. 77 and 59. The Astros are literally a half a game out of first place, and the Rangers are 1 game out of first place.
The Astro cheating man still in it.
Very tight division. So looking at the wild card, we shooting on over to the wild card. Shooting over to the wild card, you can clearly see that Tampa Bay is number 1 for the AL wild card, and Houston is number 2. It is very, very tight right now. Tampa Bay has a 6.5 game lead currently on Houston, and a 7.5 game lead currently on Texas for the wild card. In the NL, Philadelphia has a 5.5 game lead for the wild card, and the Chicago Cubs is number 2 in the wild card race right now. But they still have a good hopes and aspirations of actually snagging the division in NL Central, and it still can happen.
Who number 1? You said for the wild card in NL?
Philadelphia Phillies. The Phillies
go
of
Philly.
Philadelphia, Philly. Here you go. It's 2 wild card spots, so yeah, the Cubs will still get 1. But in other news, interesting fact today, actually it happened yesterday. Ronald Acuna Jr., the all-star center fielder for the Atlanta Braves, is the first ever in MLB history to have 30-plus home runs and 60-plus stolen bases right now.
Wait a minute.
Yeah,
Ricky Henderson didn't do it?
Never. No. Ricky Henderson has 67 stolen bases in 1 year, but the most home runs he had is only 14 at the time. Ronald Acuna is the only player in MLB history.
A-Rod ain't got that either?
No, A-Rod's not even fast, actually. Ronald
I
Acuna
mean,
Jr.
he was a base
has
stealer. Bro.
currently has 33 home runs, and Acuna currently has 64 stolen bases. So chances are he's going to break Ricky Henderson. Single
Wait a
record.
minute, Tim Raines ain't never do it.
No. Okay, and talks to AL MVP. So for the second time in 4 years, Shohei Ohtani for the Los Angeles LA Angels is looking to win his second MVP race, and it looks like he's most likely going to win it for the second time in 4 years. And
Why
Ronald,
wouldn't he?
and right, exactly. He's the reason why you have DHs in the NL now. He's the reason. This is the second year where the DH has been enacted in the National League right now at this point, and it's because of him being a hitting pitcher. They said, well, let's make it universal across the whole league. And NL MVP favorite is Ronald Acuna Jr. right now, who I think personally is going to take it by a landslide because with the numbers he's putting up right now, I don't think anybody can touch. I don't think anybody's going to touch it for as far as the NL. Now it's time for my segment question of get the question right, you win a buck. You win a buck. Who was the last person to win the Triple Crown? Do not look it up. Tell me. Who was the last person to win the Triple Crown?
The last? Was it? Oh, I know this. That's crazy.
Don't what's the name?
I'm not looking it up. It's coming. It wasn't Hideki Matsui, was it?
Is that your answer?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
No, it was not Hideki Matsui. It was actually.
Or was it Ichiro?
It was actually Miguel Cabrera. He won it in 2012. It was the first time he won it since 1967. First time that the last Triple Crown was won in 1967. Miggy actually won it in 2012 when he led the league with a 345 average, 58 home runs, 129 RBIs, and 129 RBIs. He led all three.
Wait a minute, he had a 345 average?
Yep, and he actually won. I'm sorry, 325 average. 325 average. And he
That's what I'm like, 345.
325.
I'm like, he crushed Ted Williams.
Yeah, he did. No, Ted Williams is 400. That's his what's the name? 400.
That's what I thought.
Yeah,
wait a minute, he 400?
No,
yeah, ain't nobody hitting 400.
Closest person to ever come close to 400 in the season was 2003. It was Tony Gwynn. He batted 394 and only struck out 17 times that season.
Oh, Big Tony. What is this kid? What is this kid doing?
His son got a lot of speed, but he's not like his father. His father was a pure hitter.
I said, where is he at now? I forgot. He ain't in
Milwaukee. No, he's not in Milwaukee. Last place he was with Cincinnati Reds, actually. Okay. But I don't think he's in the MLB anymore because I haven't heard anything about it for the last couple of years. And that's it from baseball MLB with the dugout with Elmo Johnson. Back over to you guys. Go.
All right. Well, that's it, people. That is it for the end game. Thank you guys for joining us. EJ, thank you for stopping by. Tiffany, thank you for stopping by. Kelly Love Life, thank you. And the CEO, thank you for joining in. Join us next week. It'll be the first week of the NFL, second week of college. Till then, remember, remember to like, subscribe, and share. Join us Wednesday with my guy to the right, Jody, on the Unhinged podcast. Every Wednesday, 8:00 Eastern. No, wait a minute. It's 8:00. Is it 8:00? No, it's 7:00 Central, 8:00 Eastern. There you go. Unhinged podcast. Also join us Saturday mornings at 8 a.m. Central, 9 a.m. Eastern for the family barbecue. Once again, this is Mr. Who Loves Your Baby, Jody Skywalker, and our new MLB correspondent, Elmo the High Corner Jackson. Remember, it's not just a podcast, but it's a family.
Family, baby.
Peace out.
Peace.
Go Tigers.